Have you ever heard of the concept of the 6 degrees of separation? It's basically this idea that everyone on Earth is connected to everyone else through a chain of no more than 6 acquaintances. I can guarantee you that there are much less than 6 degrees of separation between you and a CNA. Everyone has a friend or a friend of a friend who either currently works as a CNA or at least has in the past. In fact, as of 2023, there were 1,351,406 certified nursing assistants employed in the United States. And that doesn't include professions like home health aide and personal care assistant. But the question is, should those almost 1.5 million people be working as CNAs, or did some of them maybe stumble into the wrong profession? Hey team, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Whitney and I like to make videos to help CNAs level up in their career. So let's dive right into the reasons why I think you should not be a CNA. Reason number 1, if you're in it just for the money. Now, I do have a video on my channel talking about how to find out how much money CNAs make. And I do feel like you should have that information if you are considering becoming a CNA or if you currently work in this field. And you should use that information to help guide your career decisions. But it's no secret that certified nursing assistants are one of the lowest paid healthcare professionals, whether you think that's fair or not. The median salary for a CNA is just shy of $35,000 annually. If you are entering this field looking to make a lot of money, then maybe this isn't necessarily the field for you, especially when you consider that nursing is about caring for patients. It really is important to have a heart for caring and to have that be the primary motivation for entering this field, regardless of the fact that you do, of course, need to make an income in order to support yourself in any profession. Number 2, if you don't like working hard. So most CNAs will tell you that their job is not easy. It is oftentimes very physically demanding and labor intensive. Now, if you're one of those CNAs who has a cushy position where you don't have to necessarily do a lot of hands-on work, then definitely leave a comment below. I'd love to know what it is that you do and how you came across that particular job. But for the majority of certified nursing assistants working out there, you're going to be using your muscles and your hands in addition to your mind in order to get your work done. And so if you're not someone who's interested in getting a little sweat on their brow, then this may not be the right profession for you. Number 3, if you don't like working with people, my friend, you are definitely in the wrong place. The definition of nursing is the practice of providing care to those who are sick or infirm. And so by definition, by working as a certified nursing assistant, you are going to be providing care to people. So if you don't like working with people, then maybe you should consider doing something else. Personally, I'm one of those people who actually enjoys working with people a lot. I love learning from people of all different backgrounds, and it's one of the things that I love most about nursing. But if you'd rather sit at a desk or work in a dark room under a black light or something of that sort, then you might want to consider switching to a different profession. Number 4, if you are grossed out by smells and bodily fluids, then ooh, my friend, please find something else to do. So we told you that nursing assistants care for individuals who are sick. And often the duties of a certified nursing assistant is providing what we call ADL care, which is activities of daily living. One of the activities of daily living is incontinent care. Another one is bathing. Doing these 2 activities alone, you are going to be exposed to some odors, which may not necessarily be pleasant, and definitely be exposed to bodily fluids. If you've been spit on by a patient before, if you've maybe had a glove tear while you were providing some sort of care, then you know. So if you're someone who doesn't want to have anything to do with smells or another person's bodily fluids, then definitely being a certified nursing assistant is not a great move. Number 5, if you do not like working with the geriatric population. So this may be a bit of a generalization, right? There are a lot of CNAs out there who work with different patient populations. If you work in the hospital, for example, then you may have patients of all ages, from pediatrics all the way up to geriatrics. But I would argue that the majority of CNAs do work with the elderly population. If we're going back to the definition of nursing, taking care of those who are sick and infirm, now that can affect anyone of any age. But the proportion of our seniors who have a chronic or debilitating illness and require additional care and assistance is much higher than the younger population. So unless you know upfront as a CNA that you're going to be working with a particular population and maybe you already have a job lined up, then you should assume that at some point in your career, you're going to work predominantly with the elderly or geriatric population. And if that's not something that you're interested in, then definitely consider choosing something else. Number 6, you know that feeling when you wake up in the morning and you get ready for your day and you think to yourself, I feel like I've done this all before. You have done this all before. If you are a CNA and you're someone who is annoyed by routine, then you should consider doing something else. The healthcare settings where nurses and CNAs work often thrive on routine. Think about anything from hospital to a nursing home or an assisted living facility. There are going to be set times that certain tasks are carried out throughout the day, week, and month. So if you're someone who likes to be very spontaneous and creative and keep it spicy, then you may not enjoy working as a CNA. Now again, there are exceptions to this. There may be CNAs who work in very creative, spontaneous fields. And if you are one of those, I would love to hear about your profession down below. Number 7, if you don't like wearing uniforms. So one thing that you all will learn about me is that I'm a bit of a minimalist. It's one of the things I enjoy about working in the healthcare field, the fact that I literally can wear the same thing every day and nobody looks at me sideways. If you work in a more institutional setting like a hospital or a nursing home, it's likely that you're going to be required to wear scrubs, and often scrubs of a particular color and a particular brand. And even if you work in a long-term care setting like an assisted living facility or a memory care where you don't have to wear scrubs, it's very likely that you're going to have to wear some sort of uniform. I've seen a lot of long-term care settings that are now moving towards having their CNAs wear a polo and khakis or slacks, but still have them be uniform in that they're all wearing the same thing, just to make it easier for the patients and their families to identify the CNAs. Even as a private duty CNA, where your patient or family doesn't necessarily require you to wear a certain outfit, just for your own level of comfort and sanitation, you may find yourself wearing a similar outfit. I have seen a few private duty CNAs maybe wearing jeans and a scrub top, or again, just wearing polos and some comfortable loose-fitting pants. But more than likely, if you work as a CNA, you're going to have some kind of uniform or guide for what it is that you're wearing every single day. And so if you're someone who likes to wake up in the morning, look in your closet and decide what you're feeling like for that day, you may not necessarily like working as a CNA where your outfit is going to be a bit more regimented. And number 8, if you like to be independent and make your own decisions, then being a CNA might not be a profession that you enjoy working in for a long period of time. What I find that a lot of CNAs forget is that they are actually working under the supervision of the registered nurse. They're working under the RN's license. And in theory, the CNA is supposed to follow the directions of the RN, which should be spelled out in a plan of care. For example, if the patient's plan of care calls for the patient to have a modified diet, like a pureed diet, then the CNA can't just unilaterally decide that they're going to give the patient a cheeseburger and a shake for them to eat that night. In making that decision, the CNA would be working outside of their scope. They would not be following the plan of care that was set forth by the registered nurse, and they actually would be at risk of losing their CNA certification altogether. Of course, all the points discussed in this video were definitely generalizations and very much opinions of mine. If you are a certified nursing assistant and found that some of these points don't really apply to you, or you work in a setting that is the exact opposite, I really would love to hear about what it is that you do and definitely how you got into that field. Empowering others to share this sort of information is exactly the motivation behind CNA Pro in the first place. So if you've made it this far into the video, again, I sincerely appreciate your time. If you're interested in more content surrounding CNA, lifestyle, money, and career, then definitely consider subscribing to the channel and stick around for future videos. Until the next video, I hope that you wait less, do more, and come up with a plan to go out and get yours. Ciao.